back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge, and let's talk horror. Now, today I am joined by the amazing Kate Kiddo. How you doing today, Kate?
Hi, doing great, Ken. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
No, I am super excited. The thing about Kate is you're going to be seeing a whole lot of her here in the future. Such Films is on location. They watch the events surrounding A Peeping Tom, things that not only are great films, but with great people that I know very well and that have given Kate nothing but the highest of praise. So this is seriously such an honor for me. I don't want to name drop anybody, but I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that have gotten a hold of me when they found out that I was working with you to give you the highest of praise, to tell me that I'm doing a very smart thing and that you are a bright star in the future. So this really means a lot to me. So spoiler free, what can you tell us a little bit about some of the things that you're working on?
Okay, well, you did mention On Location, I guess, which is now known as Terror Trips.
Okay.
Cool flick. They just had a screening at the Mahoning Drive-In Theater, which is very famous and awesome, at Joe Bob Briggs. What is it? The Jamboree, something.
Yeah.
So bad, I'm blanking on it. Yeah. So we worked on Time's Up recently as well. That movie's in post-production. On Location's about to hit whatever distribution deals that they're doing right now. And we're currently working on the movie called Baywatch. It's a horror film. Really excited. Oh my goodness. Wow, that's Father Time.
This is my little Father Time. I was so
Was he with us?
To be
Was he with us on the
yes.
shoot? That's
yes.
the Father Time.
And then I have a couple of the t-shirts. Obviously, I'm a producer on the film. And I'll be a little YouTube clip that's in the film as well. Time's Up is something I was very, very happy to be a part of, to promote. Just like the events surrounding A Peeping Tom is something I'm very excited to be a part of, very excited to promote, because Hannah, Damien, Felissa, you, Kamara is another really good friend of mine. And I'm so happy that you guys are all this tight-knit group and you guys are all working together on so many amazing projects all at once. Yes. And it's one of those things where it's like, I've been hungry for a week and I see this amazing steak, but it's still like 50 yards away from me. And I'm trying so hard to be patient and let it get to me. But my patience is wearing very thin because I'm so excited to see these movies because they keep getting talked up so much. And I'm so excited to see all these things that you guys are working on.
Us too. Thank you. Yeah, it's an amazing group, and it's really rare. I hear that everybody, just everyone who's working on set just clicks really, really well. No egos, really. Everybody's on the same page as far as work and mutual respect goes. So it goes a long way, and it's really, really appreciated. So all of the people that you mentioned are wonderful friends of mine. And actually, one of them just popped their head through the door. So Hannah Fierman and Damien Maffei are in this house with me right now, this minute.
I love both of them to death.
Yeah, they're wonderful. So you were talking about like probably not trying to name drop, so I decided to do it for you here as well. So so yeah, they're grabbing their wardrobe right now and heading to set for a company move. I just wrapped this movie called Baywatch. We just signed 1 million DVD covers and posters, and all of that is going out to the first backers. And I'm pretty sure it's something that we're going to be doing for The Peeping Tom as well. Have so many perks, physical perks, and otherwise for people to enjoy. So we're super excited, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. We just created an assembly line on this 20-person dining table here at the mansion so that everybody can sign and we can just get it out of the way.
Right. And people don't understand. I mean, when they hear, oh, cool, I got a signed DVD or a signed Blu-ray. Do you understand how long it took for you guys to sign every single? I bet you've never hated your name as much as you hate your name right now from constant
You
signing.
know what? We were just talking about it and discussing everybody's signature. So it's me, Damien, and Hannah. We're just sitting at this table and we're talking about our signatures. And we're like, oh, I hate my signature. Oh, I like my signature. Oh, I like this person's signature. And I'm like, I was smart because I just created my initials. I knew that in the future, you'll just, by the end of it, you'll hate signing your entire name. So I was just like, KK, done. KK, done. Let's go.
That's
So yeah,
awesome.
it was
And
really
it's cool.
cocky of me to think that I'll be signing a bunch of a bunch of stuff, but it worked out,
Hey, great recognizes great. Shoot your shot. If you don't believe in you,
right?
no one else is gonna. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that do. So I'm
That's
so
a
excited to be
secret.
working with you right now. And just knowing that you're there with
Me
Damien and
too.
Hannah, two people that mean a lot to me personally. And for those of you that have not checked it out yet, the Indiegogo for the event surrounding a Peeping Tom is down here in the description as well as all of Kate's social media links. So make sure you're clicking these down here and giving her a follow. I'd love to do updates on all my guests, but you don't have to wait for me to do them because you can follow her on social media and you can stay up to date with everything that she's doing. So, Kate, the reason that we're here today, we know what you got going on in the future
Mhm.
with They Watch and the events surrounding a Peeping Tom. And we know what you've been doing now with On Location and Time's Up, too. Also, great things that I'm very, very excited about. But, Kate, I want to take it back to the past.
Oh
And I
yeah.
want to talk about what got you started in the horror genre. Your
Hmm.
first horror movie, the one that got you all involved with horror, and your first horror movie was.
It's The Bride of Chucky. It's The Bride of Chucky, and I don't know why I always feel like it's so basic when I say it. But what redeems it for me is the story behind it, and how, not behind the movie, but behind how I watched it first. So and I promised I would tell you the
Yes, I'm
little
very
really
excited to
cute
hear it.
story. I mean, it's nothing really super special, but it is special to me, and I hope maybe it resonates with some people. I was about 6 years old, and some people know that I was born and raised in Russia. And Russian people are not really huge on horror or standing out very much. It's
Fucking
all about
losers.
fitting in and being mainstream. I think that's why I got, kicked out of there really early on. They're like, all right, you need to get out of here. So, and especially with older generations too, they're very conservative. And I always felt a little bit, kind of outside of all of it. And my mom became a single mother by the time that I was 5. And when I was 6, she was dating this very, very nice man. I really liked him. And sometimes on the weekends, he would take me to his mother's house. And she also had a granddaughter who was a little bit younger than me. And I just remember that this Russian grandma, at night, it's like this old apartment with like creaky floors. And by the light of this desk lamp, she would scan the TV guide for horror movies to sit us down and watch with her. And she knew every horror movie that was on TV at the time. She knew everything about Halloween. She always got us into like the weirdest stuff. And she was like, oh, The Bride of Chucky. Oh, you guys are going to like this. And it's me and her granddaughter, who's like 4.5. She sat us down and we would watch and rewatch horror movies. And that was such a magical time for me. And she
Yeah.
had all the coolest stuff. And that's how I started learning and getting into this. So to me, it was very special how this Russian grandma 2.0 was so cool and very, very different. And I think
And
she really jump started it for me. So.
And it's funny you say that because when it comes to horror movies, something I've said a lot is our first horror movie is something we remember, not just because of the film, but we remember all the events surrounding it. No pun intended.
Right.
Everything that was there, the people that were with us, what we were eating, the smells, when I watch House, which was my first horror movie, I
Yeah.
get transported back to sitting on my grandma's lap and watching this movie and playing House, going up to the door and saying, we'll open it at exactly 12 o'clock, grandma. Like, I remember these things, and that's why I think horror is so special to us. You don't get rom-com con where you get people dressing up like Ryan Gosling in The Notebook and getting together at a convention center, but we have horror cons and people spend their time and their nights obsessing about what they're going to dress up as to go to this horror con and meet their idols. And horror has some of the nicest, kindest, most down-to-earth people, and it's amazing to hear a story that it started in a family setting, like this is it. Because another thing I've said a lot, that I believe that people that started off watching horror movies at a younger age are more grounded in reality as long as they were educated about it, because we know the differences between fantasy and reality. But it takes education, just like everything else. But you learn at a young age, this is fake. This isn't real. If you die, you
Right.
die. There's no game over. There's no restart. So I feel like people that started horror at a young age are more grounded in reality. But back to Bride of Chucky, something that I want to know, because this movie, honestly, something that a lot of people that know me know, Child's Play is my favorite horror franchise.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
It is. I think that don't get me wrong, I loved Saw, I love Scream, I love Friday the 13th, I love Nightmare on Elm Street. But to me, Child's Play has the most solid lineup of the films of all the big horror franchises. I'm a huge fan, and Bride of Chucky is a film that a lot of people shit on, but I think it's a great film. Like, it's really meta. Like, if you pay attention at the very beginning when they're going through that evidence locker, like you see
Right.
Michael Myers' mask, Freddy's glove, Jason's mask, the chainsaw from Texas Chainsaw. Like, you have all these things in this movie that are so iconic, and it's almost meta. But in a movie that has so many amazing scenes, Kate, what scene would you say affected you the most?
That's not my favorite scene. That's definitely not a favorite scene. The one that affected me the most when I was a child, like when I thought about rewatching Bride of Chucky, is that weird scene where he proposes to her and they have a very intimate moment. As a child, you already don't really fully understand the concept of sex sometimes in those kinds of relationships, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
reject it already. But then when you see the dolls, you're like, what's the purpose of that? Okay, hold on, how does this work? Because then it
Right.
does work, they conceive, right? So you're like, wait, your mind is completely blown. And it's crazy. But well, here's, I wanted to kind of touch on what you just said, with the meta part of it. That's how you feel that this movie is for the fans. This
Yeah.
movie is with the fans in mind. It's not just, oh, we wanted to do something. It's really, hey, we're from the same group of people. We're just like you who grew up and watched this, or we are the ones who also love this just like you do. And sometimes I really appreciate it. And I don't know, maybe it's my lack of, I don't know, I'm jumping on a different topic here. Like, there's all these kind of newer things like elevated horror and stuff like that. And people like to get a little bit snobby with horror film, I feel
They
like.
do.
Which is, I also appreciate, because I do love it when somebody dives really deep and has the education about what they're interested in. But I think when it comes to art, any kind of art, some of it is not always, it doesn't have to have a message, or like very
Right.
political message, or it's not always to change somebody's mind. Sometimes it's just to enjoy the moment or just have some fun. And I
With
think,
slasher films, you don't have to have a deep message. I'm going
right.
here to watch this little guy go out there and kill everybody possible and say the funniest, don't fuck with the Chuck. Bam.
Right.
Those are the things that I want in a horror film. And another thing that you were touching on with the meta-ness, John Ritter, when he dies in the movie because they put the nails up and it shoots in his face, and he
That
looks
was
like
the-
Pinhead from Hellraiser.
Yes.
And
That was
Chucky's
so
like,
good.
there's something very familiar about this. Like, that's such a brilliant scene that when
Yes.
you're watching it, you can't help but laugh. Like, it's such an amazing scene.
Yeah. And as a kid, well, I think it was something that you wanted to ask as well, right? The favorite kill.
Yeah, we'll get there. Yeah,
No?
don't get there yet.
Okay.
Let's go into it.
That's only because you touched on it.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. Let's talk about your favorite kill, Kate. We'll come back to some of the other questions. What
Right.
kill? Because we know in horror we love it, and I hate saying favorite because I know that's dark. But what kill would you say stuck with you the most?
Well, that was it. The one with the nails to the head, and I was like, he just got my answer. So I loved it. I loved the reveal of the guy. So yeah, that's basically it. I really loved it.
For me, it's either that one or the one where the very first one where he rips the lip ring out.
I
and then puts
can't
the pillow.
stand it. Oh no. I was gonna say, I was thinking about this. I'm like, okay, well, which one? Which one? Is it the scene that affected me most, the one with the rings, or not? I'm like, no. I couldn't bear to think about it when I was a kid. I was like,
So
I was
gross.
dreading that scene. So I'm like,
So
oh no.
this is a movie that has a lot of kills in it, and the kills, that's something, even with Seed of Chucky, the one that I feel is the weakest in the franchise, the
Mhm,
kills are still fucking dynamite in that movie. Storyline, not so much. But with Bride of Chucky, we talked about which scene affected you the most and your favorite kill. But I
mhm.
want to kind of flip that on its head for a little bit, Kate. What would you say your favorite scene from Bride of Chucky is?
Oh boy. Um, Favorite scene. I was it the hotel, the motel thing where with the glass and the
The
mirrors and
mirror?
stuff like that. Yeah, because as a kid I was already thinking about the special effects and how much work it probably took for people. And now that I'm an adult and work in the industry, and I've done art department as well very briefly, and every time I see something like this happen, I'm like, oh, that poor art department. Oh no, they're gonna have to like reset, do it again, and reset and do it again. I'm like, I can't stand looking at it. But yeah, I liked
You
it. I think
know,
it was very
when they
atmospheric.
got that script, they were like, damn it.
Bye.
So this is whenever I do a franchise film like Child's Play, you obviously your first one was Bride of Chucky, but as we
Mhm.
all know, there is this as the complete 7 movie, but there are 8 movies now with the Child Play remake. So I got 2 questions here for you, real quick. One, which Child's Play film is your favorite out of the whole franchise?
I have to be honest with you. I've only watched the first one and The Bride of Chucky.
Okay.
And that's the reason. Okay, so I hear a lot about the franchise, and I don't hear good things normally.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not really the reason why I didn't watch the rest of them. The reason was that I already had the Bride of Chucky in the special place in my heart. So I was just like, you
Sure.
know what, that's enough. But if you give me a recommendation, I will love to watch.
Here's
Which
my
one's
thing.
yours?
My
Oh, you said
favorite,
wait. Uh-huh.
but yeah, my favorite is Child's Play 3.
You
That one's
said
my
child.
favorite. But I think the best one is Child's Play 2. I think Child's Play
Okay.
2 is the best one in the whole franchise, but 3 is my favorite. And I also want to go on record because I've said it 1,000 times. The Child's Play remake, honestly, I think is better than the original.
Hmm.
Which is not me shitting on the original. Please, nobody think that because I love the OG Child's
Uh-oh.
Play. But the story in the remake, I think, is a much stronger story. Chucky in the remake, you could make the argument that he's a good guy until the third act. No pun intended
Uh-huh.
with the good guy now. But he's doing in his mind what he thinks is right by his parent, Andy. So that's one of those things where I totally, in my mind, love the Child's Play remake. I love every Seed of Chucky again. I think is the weakest in the whole franchise. But if I was going to recommend one to you, Kate, it would be either 2 or 3. 2, I think, is the best.
Two or
3 is
three.
my
Okay.
personal favorite.
Okay. Cool.
So
I'll
we
get right
talked
on
about
it.
Child's Play, Bride of Chucky. I'm sorry, and how that was your first horror movie. And again, I couldn't hate on you because I absolutely love that movie, and I'm actually kind of jealous that that was
Good.
your
I'm
first
so
horror
happy.
movie because I think that movie's fantastic. But now, Kate, I'm gonna go scream on you. What's your favorite scary movie? What is your
Oh,
favorite horror movie of all time?
that is so difficult because um actually there's so many newer I love older horror movies. I
Mhm.
love The Tenant. I love The Changeling or Changeling. What is it? The Change? I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
I'm foreign, so sometimes it's The
you're
Changeling or Changeling. So I loved that. I love the cinematography, the moodiness, and the acting is brilliant. It's fantastic. Um, but I'm also very happy about the newer films that are coming out. They're very quality, and to be honest, I uh, prefer supernatural horror.
okay.
So I do like the Conjuring movies. I feel like I'm
Yeah,
going to be crucified. Um, but no, I shouldn't be because I think they're good flicks. But the second Conjuring, to me, was really good. Out of the newer ones, out of the older ones, I have to say that The Tenant is currently my favorite.
Right. And it's funny because people that are on the show, I never tell them I'm going to ask them that question. I always just pop it in there because I don't want you to have an answer prepared. I want you to go off the seat of your pants. And anybody that crucifies you for liking The Conjuring, get bent, because the Conjuring movies are phenomenal. And I
Think so.
recently on my channel did a top 10 favorite jump scares. And The Conjuring is on that list. And the one where
Mhm.
she's like, look what she made me do. And her wrists are all cut. That
Ugh.
scared the shit out of me. I was watching this movie alone in the dark in my house, and that part happened. And I like freaked out, like, whoa, fuck that. That was stupid. I didn't like it, but I
Right.
did. It was awesome. So Kate, this has been awesome. And I've really enjoyed having you on here. But we always have one question that we ask here at the end.
Okay.
We're going back to Bride of Chucky, and we are going to
Mhm.
rank this on a skull count, 0 being the worst, 5 being the best. Now, we're not being film critics. We're not judging this on score, acting, production, unfortunate art departments, nothing like that. We're judging this strictly on what this movie means to you and how much this movie affected you. So, Bride of Chucky, 0 to 5 skulls. You can use half and quarter skulls. What would your ranking of Bride of Chucky be?
Oh, 5, no question.
Gotta
Because
be.
it's got to be because first of all, and it's definitely not all about quality. It's about the sentimental value also.
Mhm.
Again, because of what horror movies mean to horror fans, because of how we are with this type of art, right? So that is worth way more than any type of production value or anything like that. But I rewatched it recently and I thought I had no idea how funny this movie was when I was a kid. So I really
Yeah.
appreciated that as well. So they were funny. And I remember that I loved Jennifer Tilly when I was little. So I was like, she's
Mhm.
so cute. So yeah, oh,
I
absolutely. I think
agree. She's so cute.
she's so cute and she's still cute. And I love her very special voice. I think it's her it's her little part of her charm. And
Mhm.
I definitely
Something not a
being a
lot of people know
sentiment.
about me personally. No, go ahead.
Yeah,
Continue.
yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying that I'm a very, I guess, sentimental person. So sentimental value means to me a whole lot more than many other things. So
No, I agree with
I'm
you.
very
Like
forgiving with the art.
you're perfect in that though, because if I watch a movie and it's a mediocre movie, but I have the time of my life with my wife watching it, it's going to make that movie a little bit better for me. Or my mother
Mhm.
passed away. So like the Amityville Horror now has a huge spot in my heart because that was my mom's favorite horror movie. So when I
Mm.
think about, my mother and I watch the Amityville Horror, like it's almost like this completion of she's here with me. So I totally get the sentimental value thing. And you were just talking about Jennifer Tilly, something not a lot of people know about me personally. I'm a huge poker fan. I love Texas
Okay.
Hold'em, and Jennifer Tilly is an amazing poker player.
Yeah.
She's on the World Poker Tour. Like I've watched her play poker a lot, and she is absolutely phenomenal at playing poker. I would love
Had no
to play
idea.
poker with Jennifer Tilly someday.
Wow. Wow. I had no idea.
Yeah.
That
So
is really
Kate,
cool.
don't go anywhere. I got a couple more questions for you. This has been so amazing. Everybody else, I want to remind you, click the links down here in the description and make sure you're giving Kate a follow. You have
Oh, thank
the
you.
Sledgehammer Horror stamp of approval, but not just me. There's plenty of other people that are in love with this lady because of the hard work that she puts into everything that she does. She gives 100% all the time. She's always on set. She's always working her ass off. She's going to be a big star, and I've heard that from a couple different people.
Oh,
So make sure you're following her so you can watch that star rise to the top. Keep
oh.
talking horror. Stay what you are, and we'll see you guys soon.